Je suis pas politically correct, mais ils l'ont raté quand même. Bref, mais ça part d'une Amérique divisée.
Auriez-vous aimé mieux qu'il ne l'ait pas manqué?
Ben, en fait, je peux pas dire ça parce que ça serait comme souhaiter la mort de quelqu'un, puis c'est fort. Je viens des États-Unis.
Est-ce que vous aimez l'homme en question?
Non!
Pourquoi?
Du tout.
Pourquoi?
J'ai pas d'affaire à dire là pourquoi. Il est maniaque, il est mental.
Est-ce que vous trouvez que c'est... Non, mais est-ce que vous trouvez que c'est terrible qu'est-ce qui est arrivé en tant que essayer de l'assassiner? Non?
Non.
Non?
Ça, c'est mon opinion.
Alexa here reporting from Montreal, a city known for its left-leaning politics. Today, I'm diving into public reactions to the recent assassination attempt on former US President Donald Trump. Let's take a look at some images to remind you of the incident.
If you want to really see something that's said, take a look at what happened.
In this attack, tragically, one audience member lost their life, 2 others were injured, and Donald Trump was shot in the ears, narrowly avoiding a worse outcome. The shooters, identified as Thomas Matthew Crooks, who appeared in a BlackRock commercial, was taken down on the scene by a Secret Service sniper. We are well aware of the role of state and corporate media has played in polarizing and demonizing Trump's image.
Let's talk to people who have a real understanding of how dictatorships evolve.
We don't take an oath to a king or a queen or to a tyrant or a dictator. And we don't take an oath to a wannabe dictator.
Here in Quebec, coverage has often been screwed to paint him as an extremist tyrant. Today, I'm hitting the street to find out what people think about the attack, who they believe could be behind it, and what impact it might have on the upcoming elections. Let's hear what they have to say today.
Moi, ma première impression, je me suis dit que c'est un complot.
Pour l'instant, je pense que c'est un Hollywood. Que c'est pas vrai, c'est lui qui a enseigné. Peut-être il s'est mis de ketchup dans ses oreilles.
On dirait que je crois pas. Moi, on dirait que je pense que c'est... je sais pas, j'ai de la misère à croire que c'est vrai, on dirait.
Je suis pas politically correct, mais ils l'ont raté quand même. Bref, mais ça part d'une Amérique divisée.
Auriez-vous aimé mieux qu'il ne l'ait pas manqué?
Ben, en fait, je peux pas dire ça parce que ça serait comme souhaiter la mort de quelqu'un, puis c'est fort.
C'était prévisible, il est tellement clivant dans ses arguments que forcément, je pense qu'il suscite ou un amour inconditionnel, pour des raisons que j'ignore, ou une détestation forte.
Moi, je trouve que ça avait l'air pas mal arrangé. Je trouve que c'est de la comédie. Juste quand il a mis son point, puis je sais pas, je trouvais pas ça réel. Puis le fait que tout le monde le voyait, le tueur, puis que personne n'a réagi, c'est pas normal non plus.
I mean, I'm not wishing death on anyone, so I think it's pretty crazy, like something can happen nowadays. And I'm pretty surprised security didn't spot him at first, so...
I think it's bullshit. I think it sucks that some kid decided that it was the thing to do was to go and try to shoot the president as if he didn't think, like, well, I mean, just worry about his mental state and the people that, like, see this kind of thing. You know, I think it's not good for people. I think it's not good for the world that these things happen.
Definitely it was, it looks like it was a lapse in security.
It's something that happened. I expect people to do things like that, but not necessarily something I can condone.
So it's really ridiculous. It's really a coward. It is really a coward movement, I can say.
I think it's terrible. I think it was horrible. It was bad for the country. They shouldn't have done, like, it shouldn't have happened.
Je viens des États-Unis.
Est-ce que vous aimez l'homme en question?
Non!
Pourquoi?
Du tout. J'ai pas d'affaire à dire là pourquoi. Il est maniaque, il est mental.
Est-ce que vous trouvez que non, mais est-ce que vous trouvez que c'est terrible qu'est-ce qui est arrivé en tant que essayer de l'assassiner? Non?
Non.
Non?
Ça, c'est mon opinion.
Aujourd'hui, pensez-vous qu'il y a quelqu'un en arrière de tout ça?
Oui. Oui. Je ne vais pas en dire plus parce que je ne suis pas assez connaissante.
Trump, qui a organisé ça pour se hausser plus avec ce qui est arrivé, avec ces choses de tribunal, c'est pas normal.
I mean, people saw him with a gun on the roof. That's suspicious. I mean, someone should have done something, and there was no security around this area. So, like, maybe, like, it could be, like, just a stunt, but at the same time, it injured people, it killed people, and I don't think people are gonna go that far for something like this.
I'm going to tell you, I hope it's not a plot, like something that it's made of. I hope like it was just like a young guy that has a bad idea, and I'm sticking to that story. I don't want to go in a conspiracy. I don't want to go in all of that.
I think that as a 20-year-old kid, that's funny that he's a registered Republican, which is odd. They haven't been able to really like identify whether he was bullied or not, but I don't think there's a larger conspiracy. I don't.
Pensez-vous que c'est un peu l'influence médiatique ou vous pensez que c'est Donald Trump qui l'a amené à lui-même avec ses paroles? Pensez-vous que...
Moi, je dirais que oui. Les paroles parlent, hein? Et je pense qu'aux États-Unis, le populisme, c'est très, très populaire. Donc, c'est facile d'aller chercher des gens, peut-être qui n'ont pas autant d'éducation. Tu sais, ils manipulent le peuple.
Do you think it's the media influence and the political language influence that brings someone to radicalize at the point to do an attempt to murder? Or do you think that it's Donald Trump himself who bring that to himself?
It's a little bit of both, honestly. I mean, the man says a lot of very hurtful, very harmful things, and an individual who does not know how to handle their emotions in that manner may be inclined to, you know, take radical action. But on the same token, the media does not necessarily portray him in a good light in some regards, and in other regards, they basically deify him. So you've got both ends on media. Either he's the devil or he is basically, you know, a god. The problem is no one's really trying to show an unbiased opinion on the man. So it doesn't help either way.
Media definitely plays a part in it, because anytime you see like both sides, they play videos and stuff, you know, which show them in a bad light and stuff like that, and people make their decisions based on that. And definitely media coverage is sometimes biased, right? Like depending on which news channel you're listening to. So it's important to watch them all from every perspective and make your own decision.
Maybe the media, and maybe Trump is very straightforward person. He is very straightforward person, and for this reason, it creates him a lot of problem in the media.
It's definitely polarizing language, because honestly, like if I watch Trump, that's not his language. He's not divisive the way that they portray him. And even in the media, right after the shooting, the way that their headlines were going is loud noises and that kind of thing. Like they wouldn't even admit that it was an attempted assassination. It's silly. And then right away, honestly, like from what I saw on the Democrat side, it was the language, more divisiveness on that side of things, you know? And I'm not to say that on the Republican side that there isn't, but I mean, it's a pushback. It just keeps happening.
What do you think of him?
I think he can be an asshole. The problem behind that is he's really, really intelligent. He's a smart man, so the fact that he's being an asshole makes him really dangerous.
Mais moi, je pense qu'il y a des problèmes de santé mentale.
Quelqu'un de très narcissique, puis peut-être un peu fou. Moi, je ne sais pas.
Qui a un discours assez fanatique. Dont on pourrait être, enfin, si on est en démocratie, on ne peut pas adhérer à ce type de discours, en fait. Oui.
A lot of people don't like him because he's, self-made millionaire or billionaire, I should say. I think. Also, he was an actor in his own show, right? People don't like people who come from the media to become any type of leader. As we have here with Trudeau, he was drama teacher. Yes, he was an actor too. So. I don't know. I just don't think people that get involved in that should be in like positions of power as such. I think we need very, very smart people that have a feel for the people more than they would corporations and stuff like that.
But I think it's a lot more to do with the fact that in the media, you know, you've got like Fox News, they're very much inflammatory, they're making people angry, and there's a lot of anger towards him, and there's a lot of anger towards Biden and the Democrats. And I think that's got a lot to do with him and a lot to do with the way the media sort of lent into his attitudes and stuff.
You know, nowadays, people don't like the truth. So when you tell the truth, it hurts some people. And that's the problem of our society right now. Nobody tells the truth. So when people tell the truth, it shakes people and people get mad. So that's what happens with Donald Trump.
Well, it's going to rise his popularity, obviously. He's been a strong leader and unkillable and undieable Donald Trump. But it is what it is. It's almost a parody. It's almost like acting. It's almost, but you know, you have to go beyond this. Let's hope that they did not organize all of this. That he turned his head and the bullet just happened when he turned his head. But listen, if really a bullet would have hit this part of this ear, the ear would have, but we didn't see. We don't know. Like we saw, I looked online what does a bullet does. I researched, but.
Do you believe he's a dictator?
No, it's far from that.
What do you think of him?
I think he should be president. I hope he's going to be president for the United States. They need that.
So I know the meaning of dictatorships. So maybe he is a dictator, but in a different way, like in a modern way, not the classic, like the classic shape of the dictators.
I don't think he can be a dictator because the American system just doesn't allow enough. The Constitution, there's too many checks and balances there for him to ever be a dictator. Do I think he's the right person to be president? No. I think he would quite like to be a dictator, perhaps.
He tries to put himself in that position where he's seen as like a dictator because everybody likes a show of force, strength, right?
So as of right now, no, he is not a dictator. Do I see a lot of similarities in what he wants to do with some dictators? Yes, I can understand the fear that a lot of people have that he will become a dictator. A lot of his political agenda and a lot of what he's been shown to want to push is similar to things that Putin has done. And if you view Putin as a dictator, then his ideals match with it.
Incapable de répondre à ça, mais il y a des qualités de dictateur.
Comme lesquelles?
Manipulation, être capable de rassembler une foule et de les hypnotiser. C'est un peu une formule dictateur.
C'est pas un dictateur, c'est quelqu'un qui est pathologique. Quelque chose de pathologique, maladie, ça veut dire pathologique. Et l'autre aussi est si malade que ça, mais d'une autre façon.
C'est un dictateur. Disons qu'il veut se mettre ami avec les Mexicains alors qu'il voulait mettre une frontière entre les deux, une clôture. Dès qu'il va être président, mais il va la refaire, sa clôture.
What will be the consequences on the upcoming election, do you think?
Oh, I assume Donald Trump is going to win. I don't think that the attempted assassination had any impact on that. American politics, as far as I've seen, has been very much leaning towards a harsher and harsher right-wing political ideology, and he's very far right-wing in his political ideals, so just following the trend, that's where it's going. He's most likely to win.
He'll probably bring a lot of jobs back to the country for people to work, which is ideal.
Non, mais pensez-vous que Donald Trump va mener la paix pour les conflits comme en Ukraine et justement en Israël? Pensez-vous qu'il va faire quelque chose?
Mais Donald Trump n'est pas responsable. C'est derrière le rideau qu'il se passe des choses là.
Not really. During the period of Trump, there was no war between Ukraine and Russia, and he had a meeting with Zelensky and Vladimir Putin. I think Trump is better than Biden. Now you see the problem in the Middle East. More than 8 months of wars in the Middle East. So
Ukraine need оружие, как gun. Trump no gun.
It was horrible that it happened, and luckily it was just a nick to the ear. But at the same time, you know, it's rallying at least the Republicans the Republicans and maybe some independents all together, and maybe the divisiveness is not gonna be so stark anymore. And they can just, and I think it'll definitely help. I think it'll help. He'll have the support, and he better win the election. Like at the end, if he doesn't win, then there's definitely something going on.
If you want to contribute to our journalism, you can chip in at rebelfieldreports.com. But also, if you want to follow the US politics, go over rebelnewsusa.com. On this website, you can follow our fellow colleagues who are reporting on the ground in the US. Thanks.